Hey, good morning, everybody. Had some questions this morning, maybe some answers. I doubt. Let me ask you a question. How honest are we ready to be with ourselves? How much can we admit to ourselves that we don't know as much as we believe we know? In other words, as Donald Rumsfeld put it a while back, there are unknown unknowns. So we have no idea what we don't know, and our knowledge is really based on a lot of dogma and biases. And sure, we have science that is based on repeatability. I think that a lot of people think that we have progressed a lot further along in science than we have. And that's because science is sold to us in that kind of package. And it's great to be optimistic. Your psychology plays such an important role in our lives. I'm a football fan. I like to watch football. It's a very interesting game. Of course, they all are, really. But the strategies involved and the teamwork and all of that. One interesting thing about football is when you're watching a game, you can see when a particular game has so much self-confidence that they just can do no wrong. And then something happens and a player loses self-confidence. He misses a ball that's thrown to him right between his hands. The quarterback fumbles a snap. Whatever it is, something happens. And you see the whole team lose confidence. And at that same time, the other side can sense this, and their confidence builds. And you can see it switch in a heartbeat, how quickly the game goes from one side, nothing can go wrong, to just the opposite. And it's just fascinating because in our lives, this happens, and it's very, very important. And people don't see it in themselves, and very few see it with others either. So self-confidence is very important. And negative thinking, I know everybody's heard this before, that negative thinking is really a difficult thing to deal with because you don't realize what's happening. Those negative thoughts seem innocent, but they're very powerful. And especially when they're spoken. When you've got a negative thought, or positive for that matter, when you have thoughts in your head and you express them in your language, especially to another person or a group of people, those words have power. Those thoughts become physical. They are now in the physical realm. They're not just in your mental head, they're out there. And that seems kind of crazy, but it really does affect it affects everyone around you. And it's like that football team that is growing confidence from the other person's, the other team's self-destructive qualities, and vice versa. And we don't see that happening a lot, but it does happen. And it's very, very powerful. And just by understanding that, you can create a better situation for yourself and for people around you by electing to speak positive things whenever possible, and don't bring those negative things into physical reality. Does that make any sense? Probably not. Let's try it. I can tell you a woo-woo thing here, that just using thought, I can zap it into that electronic machine in front of me and cause people's heart rates to change, their blood pressure to change. I can cause them to be happy or sad. And these things happen without your permission. Let's look at like a TV show or a movie or the news where something happens on the screen. Let's say it's a horror movie. And even though it's ridiculous and the actors are terrible and the plot is it's just bull, you know that. But as you're watching it, something scares you. That what's happening inside you is being caused by those actors. And something inside you believes it, or you wouldn't have gotten scared. Even though in your conscious thinking, you understand that this is all false. You know it's complete false. But something inside you believes it, or you wouldn't have gotten scared. In the same way with a love story or a sad story, you start to get emotional. Even though you know this is not a real thing happening, you know that there's actors on the screen, they're just acting a story, that it's a fictional story somebody has written. Something inside you believes it, or you wouldn't have that emotional response. So even if I don't have your permission, I can say horrible things and something inside you will believe it, even if you know it's not true. And when you feel hatred because of somebody said something on the TV, something inside you has believed that, or that wouldn't be happening to you. So these are some things to think about, and I wanted to kind of put that out there this morning, and I want to build on this narrative that things aren't the way you think they are. And the biggest point I could possibly make is we don't know as much as we think we know. In other words, we don't understand the way our brain works, but there are people out there that do. There are people in politics, there's people in the movies, there are people in business, salespeople. There's a lot of people that know how to hack your brain, and they're doing it. And they're doing it without your permission. And I'm not saying that it's all a bad thing, but if you're not aware that this kind of thing is happening to you, it's not a good thing. So I just want you guys to think about that, and I'm gonna come back with some more stuff, thought-provoking, I hope, brain-expanding stuff. Okay, hey, thanks for watching, you guys. That's about it. We'll see ya.